Hi, my name is Umesh Gandhi, and I graduated in 1987 with a Bachelor's of Science in Mechanical Engineering from Purdue. And since then, I managed to get a job in the United States and worked as a design engineer to start with, and continued to live in the United States after that for several years, and have stayed in the engineering field for the most part of my career after I graduated from Purdue. Yeah. Long story, I was always interested in engineering. Ever since I can remember, I've been interested in wanting to be an engineer. I had wanting to do something with nuts and bolts, gears, and moving things, and building cars and things like that. And so I was getting ready to apply to several engineering colleges, and a friend of my father's, who was a professor at Purdue at that time, happened to stop by our place in India, and he said, "Why don't you apply to Purdue? It's a great engineering school." And so I did. And one thing led to another, and I was there. Well, Purdue mechanical engineering, the regimen is pretty tough and intense. They really grind you through a lot of hard work and a lot of long assignments. And sometimes you go through these things and you don't understand how it's going to ever help you in real life. How is boundary layer separation going to help me in anything I do in life? Yeah. But it took me almost a year and a half after I graduated to really realize how good and valuable my education was. I mean, it was the fundamentals that were taught to me through my heat and mass transfer classes or thermodynamics classes or fluid mechanics classes, etc. really all gelled and made sense to me once I started working and started using them in real life. The industry I work in is hydraulics, where we make high pressure pumps and valves, and that's what I was involved in. So a lot of the stuff applied. Hydraulics is a very narrow part of fluid mechanics. It's basically, incompressible turbulent flow. It's just a very narrow chapter. And all of that stuff came full circle in comprehending everything really well once I started working. And it made me a standout engineer compared to a lot of my peers who probably did not have the same education. The footprints is that basically, even though now I've grown up and I've become like the managing director of my company here in India, I still am very much involved on the engineering side. And I think, especially if you're going to run a technology company, and I can only speak from a hardcore mechanical engineering type of technology company, but I imagine even if you're in electrical engineering or into computer science or even IT, being well versed in the subject or in the product that you're making helps. And I think Purdue really helped me. The strong fundamental in mechanical engineering really helped me get well entrenched into the business that I was working in now. Well, the way it helped me is, typically I don't want to get too technical over here, but when you get into hydraulics and you get into laminar flow and you try to understand why a certain hydraulic orifice works in a certain way as compared to with certain type of flow, and it throws out all of our standard equations, and then you understand the theory behind it, you can relate to the fluid mechanics class that you learned here.